What's up, everyone? You know how you may have an old rusty muffler lying around and you may want to use it on a project, but you're just sitting there thinking, man, this thing is way too rusty. Well, I'm going to show you guys how to breathe some new life into one of these old mufflers so you can not make it look brand new, but absolutely usable and pretty once again. So this is the muffler that we're going to be restoring today, and obviously, as you can see, it's seen much better days. But we're going to be able to take it from looking something like this into something like this. And not only are we just going to shine it up and make it look a little prettier, we're also going to be protecting it from rust in the future too. So we're going to go right ahead and start with giving it a little bit of a cleanup, and then we're going to go ahead and give that other muffler a dry sand. And what that's going to do is go ahead and rough up some of that surface rust just to make it come off easier once we use the drill gun with the metal bristle bit. So now the first thing I'm gonna do to clean this thing up is just go ahead and run it over with some brake clean, just to clean any kind of dirt, any kind of grime, because this thing's just been sitting in the back barn for quite a while, so it definitely could use just a little bit of a cleanup. You guys see, there's that grime and dirt coming off of there. Just saves us from having to get at it with the sander a little bit rougher later on. Now we'll go ahead and flip it over. And take care of this side too. And now, as you guys can see, there's actually quite a lot of stuff coming right off the muffler. And yeah, this is definitely gonna be fun to clean and take off, but I don't really know. Maybe this might be easier than the other one, because the other one, I had to go ahead and sit there and use a drill gun and a bristle bit for like 45 minutes. So we'll see how this turns out. So this actually seems like it might be a lot easier than I thought, because I grabbed a rag and, well, a lot of this is just coming right off. I mean, which is awesome, but you know, it has me just a little bit worried, because this obviously isn't going to take the rust and stuff off of everything. And yeah. So that makes things just slightly easier on us. I'm not necessarily sure why it did that. If somebody knows, you can, leave a comment down below. I'm a little special, so I just don't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna go get the drill gun and get that set up, and then we're gonna get this over in our lap, and we're just gonna give it a nice rough sand. So now we've got a little piece of sandpaper, we've got our muffler, and now all we're gonna do is just go ahead and give this a nice light rough sanding. Now, just like that, we've gone ahead, we've given everything a nice little sanding, both sides. Like I said, the goal isn't to use the sandpaper here to clean everything off. It's just to go ahead and loosen up a lot of the debris that we have sitting on top of this thing. That way it makes it less work, and we don't have to sit there with the bristle brush for like 45 an hour, straight, just grinding away. But now we'll go ahead and we'll go get that bristle brush set up so I can show you guys what you're gonna do there. You are gonna need a drill gun or a screw gun, whatever accepts the kind of bit that you have. So now that we've got our drill gun set up, this is the kind of bristle brush that I like to use personally. And what we're gonna wanna make sure we do is that we have it on the drill setting. So, we're just kind of drilling away at this thing. And now I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do this. I mean, there's no real specific way to necessarily, sand away, as long as you make sure you get as much as you can. The finished product is really all about how much time you're willing to spend and put into it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it and see if we can clean this thing up. So right away, you guys can see just a ton of stuff coming off of this thing. It's been sitting in the barn for close to 6 years now, so hopefully we're able to see quite a nice improvement when we actually go to ceramic coat this thing. And now, I'm not going to bore you guys and make you watch this entire process in slow-mo. I am going to go ahead and make this a time lapse, and then the only other thing I can say is I am going to end up using a desk grinder. So if you don't have one of those at home, then, you can just use this, but I like to use the desk grinder so that way I can get a nice finish on it. Yeah, without that, we're just gonna keep getting right into this thing. So like the first thing I like to do is get that seam cleaned up nice and good first. That way I can take it over to the desk grinder and I can use that to just kind of take care of most of this. It gives a little bit of a smoother finish is what I've come to see. So I like to go around, take care of these edges, all of these, corners and things that would be a little bit difficult to get in there with a large wheel. So now we've gone ahead and cleaned up the front side of this, the welds, quite a bit. And all we're gonna do now is take it on top of this desk sander. And well, it's a bench grinder, but that's just what it's been called my entire life, is a desk sander. So that's what I'm going with. And I'm gonna move this vise out of the way. And all our real goal here is with this is to use this wire wheel to shine it up nice and good. And I'll show you how we do that. Obviously, as you guys can see, it creates quite the different shine and luster. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do over this whole front side, and then I'll show you guys that when it's done. So just after a few minutes on the desk grinder, it looks pretty good. The luster is sticking out quite nice. And just for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna go ahead and do this entire thing because I already have one done that you guys seen in the beginning. Now that you guys understand the process and what you have to do, I'm gonna show you guys how to ceramic coat it now. So before we get started with our ceramic coat, I just wanna say that this isn't something that you guys have to lay down a super thick coat of. What I best recommend is doing 2 light coats, giving them about 45 minutes a piece to dry on each side, and then that should keep it nice and protected. The stuff that we're using is just some basic Rust-Oleum high heat ceramic coat. And now all we're gonna do is just take it up, make sure it's nice and shaken up. Now I'm only gonna end up doing 1 coat on each side of this because I've already done a coat before, and now it just needs its second to keep it fully protected. But all we wanna do is just be very light. Go over it nice and lightly. We don't wanna go ahead and leave any super thick blob. We just wanna go everything once, give it a nice quick spray down. We want to make sure that we do end up hit everything though. So that way we don't have to come back and do all this again. Now, obviously, we've done a quick coat on one side, I haven't done anything super nice in the groove, so I'm going to do that off camera because it's a little bit hard to capture, but It should look something like this. Now keep in mind, this is wet because I just sprayed it, but it takes something looking from old, rusted, and sitting in the ground for 5 years to something that you can actually use again on your car. Now, obviously, it's up to your own discretion if you want to follow this and do what I did, but if you guys want to see what I'm going to put this on, leave a comment down below. It might be the Ranger, it might be the F-150. Just let me know, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.